Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review and reviewing another film for another 20th anniversary movie review. I have no words to say about this film. It was just hard for me to sit through this film because I was I'm a fan of the show. Well, the original show, that is, but this film just it sucks big time. I only saw this once, a long time ago, years ago, on TV, and I haven't seen it since then. And that's perfectly good reason why I haven't seen it since then. That's why I feel about it. So, yeah, Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. Released in 1997. The film got negative reviews, 16% Rotten Tomatoes, a 3.5 on IMDb. Deserves lower, deserves a 0%, deserves like a 2 point something on IMDb. It only made about 9 million worldwide. It debuted at number 7. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie from 1995, much better than this. Even though it's campy though, but I grew up with that show, and I love the original show. And you should know, because up there you can see I have some action figures of some of the villains from the original show. I love those villains. Now with the Turbo, I after season 3, with how it ended, with had those with the alien rangers, and then they blew up the command center. I just stopped caring. I stopped caring for the show. Then there was Zeo. Oh, I only saw a few episodes of that, and then this show Turbo. I only saw a couple episodes. And I never care for the rest of the other future shows. I never care for the rest of the future shows. So, but this film, oh my god, I don't know what for me to say on this. I don't know what's worse. I just got done sit through that crappy prequel of The Thing and this film. I don't know what's worse. Well, they can be worse in their own ways. Because the Thing prequel, it did not need to be made at all. Well, this though, which is for continuing on for the show and all that. Okay, it's directed by David Winning and one of the co's, the two guys that helps with the franchise. Shuki Levy, he's also one of the directors as well, and I forget who the person was helped start the show. But yeah, it was just funny that David Winning's last name signifies that he's not winning in this case. He's just by far in the home stretch. By far from the home stretch. He's just way far back. I don't know how it was. This is funny the pun is, but this film is just so mediocre. It's so boring. Because if we get it's like an hour in the film, nothing happens. It's nothing. You got Jason David Frank, who comes back as Tommy, and in this he's the Red Ranger, for the Turbo. He's the Red Ranger. Which, I'm sorry, he always be remembered as the Green Ranger for me. Even as the White Ranger, I still, even though I like the Green Ranger the best, but even still, he's also the White Ranger as well. Red Ranger, I just don't buy him as, because, you know. But yeah, he's the Red Ranger in this. You got Johnny Young Bosch, who comes back as Adam. He was a Black Ranger from the season 2, and now in this he's a Green Ranger. And you got Catherine Sutherland, who plays Kat. She was originally bad in the season 3, but then she became good, and she replaced Kimberly as the Pink Ranger. Steve Cardenas comes back as Rocky, which he's supposed to be the Blue Ranger in this, but which was the Red Ranger in season 2 and 3. And I met Steve Cardenas, nice guy. It was nice to meet the second Red Ranger. So yeah, I'm happy that I met him. I posted a little video a picture of me meeting the guy. But in this, he's supposed to be the Blue Ranger. And Amy Jo Johnson comes back as Kimberly, and Austin St. John as Jason, the original Red Ranger. It was nice to see them both. And Nakia Burrise, who plays Tanya, she replaced Aisha from season 2. She's now the Yellow Ranger. Then you have Blake Foster, who plays Justin, who places Rocky as the Blue Ranger. I'll get to that in a second, though. But I'll get to the rest of the. But okay. It opens up with a very slow, boring narration of Zordon, with the text going up like Star Wars style, about Divatox, who's this female galactic pirate, who's the villain through the show of Turbo. She wants to capture this wizard by the name of Largo. For this looks like a mixture of a Garbage Pail Kid mixed with those little furry guys from Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, those little furry guys. You take that, you mix it with one of those faces of Garbage Pail Kids. This is what you get. So he's this wizard, and she needs him to unlock the key to this place called the Nemesis Triangle. And this is what I feel with film. Now, it's like the previous review, this is one that makes me fall asleep because it was that freaking boring. I was in the Nemesis Triangle. She wants to use the Largo guy to wake this guy called Malagor to marry him or promises riches, whatever. I don't care. So that's the whole the gist of it. And it opens up, with Rocky. They're doing this martial arts tournament to earn charity money to save this shelter. And Rocky, it's just silly. Is that he's trying to do a kick, but then he ends up throwing himself out of the ring, and he injures himself. He said it's like his back, but it's also neck too, because he's wearing a neck brace. He's lying on a hospital bed. So yeah, he injures himself because he was trying to do a kick and actually throws himself out of the ring. So now, and also, then you have Kat with Tanya on this bus singing the school kids saying, "Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream." And I'm thinking, yeah, I want to take a rowboat. I want to row gently down the stream, down off a waterfall. That's what I feel like. Row, 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 row my boat gently down the stream, off towards a waterfall. This is what I feel about this movie. It just makes me want to go up the freaking waterfall. And then the kid Justin's there. And when they find out that when they find out that when the Rocky's injured, they see him in the hospital, and for some reason now that Justin because he hears them going in, he's under the bed, and he overhears them, with Zordon calling them, and now he knows they're Power Rangers, and he says to Rocky, "Oh, you're the Power Rangers," because it's all for convenience for him to end up being a Blue Ranger, which I guess for some reason Zordon sees something in him, because next thing, after that, the hospital scene, he sees them, and then the next thing it shows him given the powers of a Power Ranger. How, why, what has he done to become a Power Ranger? Why? Because he knew about the secret. He knows the secret of the Power Rangers. That's why. I don't know. So they go to the command center, which is totally different from the first film. And same thing in Alpha looks different as well. And same thing with Zordon. I guess they say it's supposed to be like within continuity of the show, not like the first film. And for some reason, Zordon, he keeps on looking. He looks over here, even when they're talking to them. He looks like he's looking over here. But really, when they first talking to Zordon, he's like talking. His face is like literally going this way. Why isn't he like just turn his head like this way? But it looks like he is talking to them. He explains about the whole thing about Largo, and for some, I guess only Tommy and Kat, they're going because the guy landed somewhere in Africa, and they're in the jungle. She gets attacked by a snake. Then all of a sudden she's off a cliff, and then they both fall down, and she injures her leg, and they find Largo, heals her leg, and he's now like dying because the sun's rays harms him. So I guess he has the ability of a vampire. He gets weakened by the sun. So they take him back, and Diva talks. Because in the beginning of opening the film, Largo escapes from Diva Talks' men. And Diva Talks, played by Hillary Shepard Turner. I guess she was fine because for a kids film, she'd be like doing all this over the top acting for playing a bad guy. And which also for the show, for the episodes that I've watched from Turbo, the show, when they went to where she wants to make a monster grow, she says, "Fire the torpedoes." Fire the torpedoes. That's what they remember from that character from the show, when they wants to make a monster grow. So then they follow him to go to Earth, and they kidnap her. They kidnap Largo's wife and little baby as leverage to surrender. In which they plan to do a trade off, but Largo surrenders, and they trick the Rangers. They're into releasing, which for some reason they just happen. Jason and Kimberly, they just happen to be scuba diving, and for some reason wherever they're at, and they just pick him up to take him prisoner, but it's by coincidence. Which they were really trying for them, but they tricked him. So now they get nothing out of it. And now Zordon gives them their new powers as Turbo Rangers and the new Zords. In which even watching years ago, watching a show years ago, I was never a fan of the Zords anyway, or the looks for the Turbo Ranger suits. To me, the Dinosaurs and the original Power Ranger suits were always to be the best. They always were. Look, and even the dragons, Tommy's a Dragon Zord. You get the Megazord, Dragon Zord, and Ultra Zord. Those are the best Zords. and the original Power Ranger suits as well. And this, I can't remember what the Zeozord looks like, so I can't remember that. And that's one. They become they get there to just show what their suits look like, only for a minute. But other than that, though, they don't morph later on into the film. Like towards the hour mark, nothing really happens. It's just slow and boring. Nothing happens. They get on this ghost galleon, and they're just sailing on. A lot of times, just sailing on the ocean. And then it's like over like close to this like the hour mark, and nothing happens. No fighting. And this is when they find out that as they get on the ship, they find out the kid Justin, he's now a Blue Ranger. Which I never, and honestly, I never cared for that kid anyway. Even from the show, I never cared for him, and I thought he was overall an annoying kid. I thought he was just annoying. Oh, look, I'm a Ranger! Yay! Oh. And yeah, for some reason, when he morphs into the Blue Ranger, he grows like a couple inches taller to match the same size as them. And I don't buy him doing martial arts. He's like, yeah, he's kicking butt. I just like, oh please. I just like, it's funny that when he morphs, he grows like 2 inches taller to be an adult, to be a Blue Ranger. So yeah, they're on the ship, and then, which is very boring. Then the submarine. Diva talks to submarine, which they kidnap Bulk and Skull. That's the thing. Jason Narvy and Paul Schrier comes back as Bulk and Skull, and which, by the way, because they're cops, because in season 3 they become police officers. They went to the police academy. They're cops, if anyone remembers. They get kidnapped by Diva Talks and sort of brainwashed, unless for some reason they speak with German accents. I guess for mind control, I don't know. So yeah, but the submarine goes to that, they approach the Nemesis Triangle, and they use the Largo guy to use the key to go through the portal. And as they follow the Rangers are on their way there too, they send these creatures to fight. Which is basically your first fight scene of the movie, like an hour in. And yeah, okay. And one thing I'll give one thing a pass to is the makeup and costume designs and the monster effects, the suits and all that. The practical stuff that's in this film, I do like. I still do appreciate it because for a kids film, that's all the Power Ranger stuff. Because for the show, what they do with the monsters, suits. So you have these monsters they fight, which is good looking suits. I will give that. And for some reason, which I thought their face kind of looked like a gremlin. From Gremlins. I don't know why I thought Gremlins, but the fight is not much. You have the little kid, doing some kicks and stuff like that, which I'm like laughing. It's like, oh yeah, I don't buy him as this martial artist. And they defeat him, and there's this one more, and then with Tommy, he says boo to it, and he shoves off the boat. I'm like, this is a lame fight, and this is like an hour in. The first fight isn't, and it's not much. So they get their keys, they go to the portal together, and they get to the island. And while that, Jason and Kimberly, they're down there, and which they managed to flood the room, but they managed to get Bulk and Skull out, and Kimberly out too, but Jason is trapped there. These tribe people on the island, they take Kimberly, and they get their Zord vehicles out, and then basically after which is this they're walking through, and then finally they morph, which is I find the part where the kid grows a couple inches taller when he morphs. I still find that hilarious. Oh, look, I'm cool. Woo. That's what he says. So they get to this temple, and they get there. They lure Kimberly and Jason down as sacrifices, and when the Rangers get there, and they get lured to the pit, and then they become evil, basically. And I was like, okay, evil Jason and Kimberly. Okay, I like that. You know, they're fighting a bit, which there's still even the fights were not much either. Still, but it's like, hey, evil Kimberly and evil Jason. Okay, I'm down for that. But then the Larigo, he uses magic to release him from the evil. And that's when the what was it, I forget what forget which Malagor, that's what it was. He comes out, and it's a good looking suit, creature design, but still, they get their weapons, like shoot it does nothing. They go outside, and the thing grows. They get to their Turbo Zord, and one thing I forgot which is horrendous about this film is the music and the score. I mean, the score by Shuki Levy is awful. And the song, especially the song that's playing during this fights and the Zord battle, is just beyond awful. It's god awful songs. The theme for the 95 Power Rangers film, Go Go Power Rangers, that song is way better than any of these songs in this movie. That song, that version of that song alone is from the 95 film is better than any song in this movie. I'll probably even say the score, and even the score by Graham Revell in the 95 film was better score. Like even the score that was playing in the film when they're resurrecting Zordon. Dun, 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 dun. That's better score than any score in this film. And plus, even the 95 film song at the end of the film, you had Van Halen playing. You know, Dreams. Whoever was putting the song as a score in that film and this film. It's just horrendous songs, which I can't really figure out what it was saying. Anyway, they get to the Zord comes, they fight it, which is not much, and then they get their sword, does like a flyby, then it falls to the cliff and blows up. That's it. And then, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, during there's one more where Diva Talks makes a phone call to a cameo appearance of Rita and Lord Zed. She's asking for advice. What do you do? How do you get rid of the Power Rangers? And Rita goes, "Oh, you want advice? Run!" And you hear Lord Zed snoring. He doesn't say a word because they're both in bed, and Lord Zed is just snoring, which is making me wonder if I'm gonna fall asleep snoring like this. So yeah, you get their 30-second appearance, which is useless, just for the sake of it, because hey, they're the original villains. Well, Rita is the first one, but then Lord Zed, still. And not even Goldar makes an appearance in this film. You know, just where is he at? So yeah, then after that, and everything's fine and dandy. They win the tournament for the Save the Shelter. Whoop-de-doo. God. The 95 film is much better. Because I grew up with that film. That's a childhood film for me. I didn't see this film a while further after seeing the first film. So yeah, the first film it's campy, and has some cheesy stuff to it though. But the thing is though, I just got more fun out of it. Ivan Ooze is a much better villain is much better villain. Paul Freeman was good as Ivan Ooze. Not much to this Malagor guy. Diva talks. Yeah, the woman who plays her again looks like she's having a little bit of fun to it. But as more of a seriousness, I think Ivan Ooze is a much better villain. Welcome to my nightmare. Yeah, well, this is my nightmare to this film. And yeah, even though there was the CGI and the CGI and the '95 film. Yeah, it does not hold up. I will give it that still with the Ninja Zord, and even Ivan Ooze when he makes himself bigger. Yeah, the CGI on the Zords and Ivan Ooze. Yeah, it doesn't hold up today. I know that, but I'm willing to let that go because I was having fun watching the film. This is a big pile of nothing. This is, yeah, there's some good practical monster suits, some good costumes, designs. Even to the point there was also a good explosion of the ship blowing up because they fire the torpedoes. The ship blows up. It's a good looking model of the ship exploding. That's another thing. But the music sucks. The songs suck the most. The fights are pretty much nothing. Yeah, it sucks because I like Jason David Frank and just Tommy, and it was nice and yeah, Johnny Young Bosch as Adam. Austin St. John, Amy Jo Johnson, Blake Foster, which I never cared for anyway. For his character as Justin, that's what it was. Yeah. Justin, I never cared for as this character in the series. But I thought he was just annoying. Well, because he gets to be a Power Ranger because he found out. Because next look, as you started to see him, and everybody saw that though. The next thing is also he's a Power Ranger, and he learned how to drive within a day because Zoran taught him. Yeah, a 13 or 12-year-old boy learned how to drive within a day, and all of a sudden he's a Power Ranger, just for the sake of it, because we needed a replacement for our Blue Ranger. And Bulk and Skull, they're just there, just trying to being the goofy things. I mean, I like them. I like them in the show, and they were not much in the they were not given much in the first movie either. So. But they could have had him not be in the movie, but oh, God, and just I'm starting to get a headache now. I reviewed one bad film, and I review this film. This is just trash. Then once again, like the previous one, this is a big pile of trash. Yes, yeah. 20 years later, 20th anniversary. 20 years later, this film still sucks. I'd rather watch the 1995 film better. And then we come to this film next. Now, there's another thing that brings the question: Is this worse? But now it's time for me to watch this again because I got this recently and just have to watch this again. Because yeah, I paid money to see this in the theater and forgot about it because it was not that great. So this film's just messing with my brains. I don't care if it's upside down. This film's just messing with my head so much now. 20 years later, the film still sucks. Big pile of trash. I never want to see this film again. But then come to this film. I have to read this. I forgot all about it, so I have to rewatch this again. So, and I paid money to see it in the theater. I wanted my money back. I remember saying that though, but I did not pay to see this. It was given to me. So, I'm sure all you're looking forward to seeing this one. But as for this, now over an hour film, nothing happens. Fights are not much. Waste of Jason David Frank and others. Yeah, it's basically an hour of no Rangers, basically. It's nice to see Austin St. John in this. Amy Jo Johnson as well. And apparently, looking up, the first cut, the running time for this one was supposed to be like 3 hours. To this day, none of the deleted footage have surfaced. This is supposed to be 3 hours long. I was like, are you kidding me? 3 hours of this? I'm glad this was cut. And this is like an hour and 30-something minutes, but it was boring. It was not fast paced like the first, not as fast paced as the first film, but well, just anything else in your trivia. Yeah, also want to warn what happened to David Yost, who played Billy. Yeah, so the crew originally intended to have the original Blue Ranger Billy, played by David Yost, have the role in the film. Billy would have helped the Rangers create the turbo powers and the original draft of the screenplay. However, Yost left Power Rangers Zeo because he was in Zeo, in which filming the same time as the Turbo movie. And the script was been rewritten during production to exclude Billy. His character would be leaving during Power Rangers Zeo when his character is aging due to exposure from the past experiment and has to go to planet Aquitar to regain his youth. Mr. Yost confirmed on his Twitter account that rumors of him being spotted on film set on the movie were false. So yeah, I don't think not even appearances by Jason David Frank and Austin St. John and even Amy Jo Johnson. Even if David Yost was in this, still wouldn't have saved the film. A high-spirited fantasy adventure. This person from the Hollywood Reporter. I don't know what the deal is. This is definitely not a high-spirited fantasy adventure. And even the bottom down here where this writing is, for the script, where the text right down here says, Power Rangers set up for the most thrilling and dangerous adventure yet. No, it's not. I don't want to talk about this film anymore. Yeah, hope you enjoyed my rant on the 20th anniversary review of Turbo, Power Rangers film. Watch the 95 film instead. Stay away from this one. If anyone is not a fan of the show anyway. Well, as fans of the original show, but anyone else has seen the Turbo series or not. I don't want to talk about that piece of crap no more. That's it, I'm done with it. So, thanks for watching. Yeah, 20 years later, 20th anniversary of Turbo Power Rangers movie. I don't want to see that film ever again. get out of my face, far away from me as possible. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned on get into this now. Preparing myself for this. So stay tuned for that. Later.